Welcome, everybody, to the greatest show where I get to show off the greatest people and have way too much fun doing it. Welcome, my special guest, Ryan T. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Cassy, for having me here. Who's the greatest people? I'm like,
You're the greatest people.
That must be me.
It's you.
That was a fun introduction. I was like, okay, greatest people, no one here.
Well, one of the things I've always noticed about you is just the space of joy and kindness that you have about you, and a different kind of kindness. And we're going to talk about that a little bit today. And so let's dive in with this topic. So you and I were chatting on the sideline before the show a couple of days ago about what is kindness? Like, what is that?
And now I'm curious, what do you mean a different kind of kindness? How many kinds of kindness are there out there?
Well, yeah. Well, there's this reality's kindness, which is, something often used to control us.
Or to prove kindness.
Mm-hmm.
That might be a good competition. If you want to compete with me, be more kind than me.
Yeah. So where have you found that for you in life, people expecting you to prove your kindness? Or did you find, like, growing up, were you always trying to prove that you were kind, or did you notice people around you always trying to prove that?
Of course, we have seen a lot of people always trying to prove they are kind, and then it always gives you some weird feeling when you see those people. For me, I don't do that. In fact, I don't really pay much attention to the topic of kindness. And of course, I have also never considered myself kind. It's always people, for example, like you would tell me like, hey, do you know that you are different? And then I'm like, what do you mean? And then for the first few times, it always made me feel like uncomfortable, like, really, like, that kind of feeling, because this is something that no one really talk about. And then so after a while, I think maybe I'm now more used to it now. So if you say that to me, I'm like, okay. Still not fully acknowledging myself, but at least I'm like, okay.
A little bit closer.
A little bit closer, one step closer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's really interesting because so you wouldn't consider yourself kind. So who or what would you consider kind?
I mean, like, who would walk around and tell everyone like, hey, I'm kind, see me as kind? Like, there's no such thing.
I think the people that aren't kind, that are trying to prove that they're kind.
But no, I don't think people do it in that direct way.
Yeah, that's true. You shared with me a video of you at this beautiful part of the world with the earth, and can you tell us that story? So you arrived and there was just garbage everywhere.
But this is one of the common issues in, I would say, Malaysia. Well, not really just Malaysia, but quite a few other places as well. But this happened a lot in Malaysia, and last year, so we had 3 months of strict lockdown, so people were not supposed to go out. And I think during that few months, people got really bored, and then a lot more people, right after the lockdown ended, and then people just try to go out and do whatever they can, including all these outdoor activities. But a lot of these people, they have, I don't know how to describe them. Or maybe I'm trying to be polite. They just have no. If you litter on top of a hill, no one is going to clean it up for you, right? And it makes no sense, because if you can bring it up, of course you can bring it down. Okay,
Yeah.
and a lot of those things are like, for example, the food packaging. I'm sure the food is heavier on the way up, and then if you finish the food, and then supposedly you can bring it up, but people just don't. People just throw everywhere. So so last year I went there, and then so when I first saw it, was like, "Oh, shit." So it really pissed me off. So so I went into judgment a little bit, and then I was like, well, this is not helpful. I can do something. Okay, so that's why I did that. So now I think we need to put a link somewhere so that people know what we are
People
talking
can see
about.
the video. Yeah. Yeah. So Ryan cleaned up this area and shot a video of it. And there was this moment, Ryan, where I looked at in your eyes and the energy that was there with you and potency. Yeah. But I sensed this total energy of kindness that you were having for the earth and a willingness to take action and like an act of kindness. Because you could have easily just, oh, this is stupid, and then walked on.
Yeah, and then wait for someone else to take action. Right. That happened
Yeah.
a lot to a lot of people. So, like, so I would say, if you really care about something, or if you like want to show kindness, it's not what you say; it's really about what you do. Yeah.
So this could be like a detector with people are like, are they actually kind? And really paying attention to the actions that people are taking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So have you always been like this? Have you
Um,
always taken actions of kindness?
I don't know how to say always, because like, but this is not the first time. That wasn't the first time, and um, so I do that from time to time when I can. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And what about how would you say you are in the world with people?
what do you mean?
Like, would you say that do you choose acts of kindness with people?
Yes and no. Okay. For me, and this is not just about me. For me, I know one thing that I always know is there are so many things that I want to do. When I see someone, I always know like, okay, how I can help this person, how this person can have more ease in certain area of their life. But very often I always hold back. So this is how I grew up. So when I see someone like, and I know that I can contribute, but of course I don't use the word contribute at that time. I was just like, yeah, maybe I can do something, and then I'm like, can I? So the what's holding me back is also the doubt. Like, okay, am I good enough to help this person, to contribute to this person? And
Oh,
then
wow.
uh, and actually I'm quite autistic, but I don't think anyone will believe that. So I don't really
You
like
hide it
go
well.
near people. Now I can't. Now I talk, I facilitate classes, so no one will believe me anymore. So, but in general, I don't really talk to people. I don't really like people, but I like nature, but I don't really talk to people. So number one is the self-doubt, and then second is like I don't go near people. But now I would also add the third part after I learned access consciousness, and we know that some people, they might not be able to receive what you can contribute to them. Okay, so that with all these reasons, so I always hold back, and then because of I'm holding back so much, I don't really do that much. Okay, but of course in my mind I'm really busy doing all kind of stuff. So then I wouldn't consider myself kind.
But isn't it kind to not deliver something that someone can't receive?
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe you're being really kind.
Yeah, but yes, that is kindness that no one talk about. But at the same time, we also, like, when I say we, I mean you and I, because we talked about this a few days ago. Like,
Yeah.
how often is it that we, in the name of kindness, we we try to force someone to change something that they are not willing or they are not ready to change.
Yeah.
So kindness
Yep.
is a very it supposedly shouldn't be a complicated subject, but it's quite a complicated subject.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm curious how as you go along your access consciousness journey, your own consciousness journey, and you look at these types of things, so there's that holding back when you're aware someone can't receive. And what's so interesting is how little people can actually receive kindness. That some people would rather. Oh no. Okay. Yeah. Tell me.
And I'm still learning to receive kindness all the time. And I remember this very well when I was a kid. If someone tried to be kind to me, whether they were kind for real or not, I didn't know. But I always reject energetically. I would reject because in my mind it would be like, no, I don't want to owe you anything. If you treat me kindly, I don't know what else I can like give you back. Okay, so this is me. So I reject kindness, and I'm sure a lot of people do that as well.
Yeah.
Or is this an Asia thing? Do you do that?
No, I did that. It might be a Canadian thing too. Yeah. Well, for me, when there was kindness present, yeah, there was always something attached, and often, like in my life, there was a lot of abuse with kindness. So I didn't want to receive the kindness because I wasn't willing to receive the abuse that came with it.
What do you mean? Can you give an example? How
Yeah.
can you put the word abuse and kindness like in one sentence?
I know, right? It's so crazy. You wouldn't think that would happen. So, for example, let's say someone gives you a gift, like a physical gift. You're like, wow, and you receive it, and it's for no reason. You just get this gift, and they just like, I'm so grateful for you, and you're like, wow, I feel so good. Like, thank you so much. And then a little while later, they'll ask you to do something that you don't want to do, that actually goes against you. And then when you go to like, I really don't feel comfortable with that. That's not something that, and then they would go, don't I like give you things? Don't I like, haven't I? So there's like that gaslighting piece, like where there's the mind manipulation into going, not just doing something for someone, but going against yourself, like your own, you would have to be unkind to you to deliver what they're asking. So that would be like that abuse piece. That would be a light example.
So that in that case, that I wouldn't call that a kindness. That's more like a trade, an exchange. I
labeled
give you
as
this,
kindness.
Yeah, so now I'm entitled to take this from you, and you should give it to me. Otherwise, you're not kind. Like so. Yeah, one of the reasons why this is what I told you a few days ago as well. I wouldn't consider myself kind is because so many people, because of they couldn't get what they want from you, then they judge you as not kind. Because if you are kind, then you should help me. Like if you're not helping me, then you must be selfish or whatever.
Yeah. So okay, here's a question. So if and we all face this, people ask us for stuff or they demand something from us that maybe we don't want to choose. So if you say no to it, then is that an act of kindness for yourself?
Yeah. And I would say that you need to be able to be kind to yourself in order to be kind to another person. Okay, someone that has no self-kindness, they cannot really be kind to other people. It's more like they are just trying to be kind. It's the pretense of kindness.
That was really beautifully said. It's so true. It's so true. Huh.
And when most people think about kindness, it's always about doing something for other people. They never have their own life in the computation.
So what's a way, like, do you have any tools, any to start to include yourself? Like for people that want to they're like, wow, I want to start looking at kindness to me. I want to start choosing that. How do I include myself?
Well, you have to ask yourself, does this work for me? Okay, so most people, they will always think about other people, like, oh yeah, this is what you want, and then they don't care. So maybe they will have the feeling of like, I don't think I want to do this, but they will still say yes. Okay, so saying no, it's like, oh, okay. So I think most people might have the point of view that if you say no to another person, if you reject someone else, then you're not kind. And then because of they try to prove they are kind, like because everyone told us you need to be kind. And how often is it how often it's those people that are not really kind, and then they tell you, hey, you need to be kind.
Yeah.
So most
You're
people
like, oh no.
cannot reject other people. And for the first few times, of course, I have done that a lot, many times. And then when I first got the concept of like including myself, and then start asking myself, okay, does this work for me? And then I start to say no. And of course, the first few times of me saying no out of kindness to myself, not because of I hate someone else or I have something against them, it feels so weird. Like, okay, I think I'm wrong. I shouldn't say no. If I say no, what will happen to them? That kind of feeling. Yeah, but now I'm I'm more used to it now.
So just takes practice.
What do we call it? Like practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
I'm on my way there.
I know what you mean. I've experienced that too, and I actually have a trick. It's like it's not empowering, but I just find a way to say no without saying no, and that would be like my sneaky way to get out of things.
Now I want
But
to
I
learn
did
that.
notice, yeah, but I did notice that there was something that changed for me the times where I was willing to actually go, that doesn't work for me. Not out of fight, resistance reaction, or wrongness, just like that doesn't work for me. And it really did change something for me personally. So thank you for bringing that up. That's a beautiful tool for people to explore. Go ahead.
So have you ever like pissed someone off just because of you reject them? No,
Yeah,
my real
a
question is
lot.
how do you handle that?
Well, it depends on the person. So if I'm dealing with someone that maybe they don't explore consciousness, they don't do access consciousness, they don't have the tools, I usually just go, you're right. I'm wrong. Like, you're right. I'm a terrible person. I'm sorry. This is just what I have to do right now. And that validation of how awful I am in the world, because from their point of view, usually can kind of like release the energy a bit, and they'll back off. And I'm like, okay. But if it's someone that maybe it's someone I'm actually creating intimacy with or friendship, like then I can go and ask questions with them. I could say, hey, I get that you'd really like me to do this, but it's not kind to me to do this. Are you willing to have allowance for my choice? Are you willing to like look at this with me? And there's not a lot of people I can do that with. Do you
Oh
have people
yeah,
you can do that with?
I cannot think of anyone. There are a lot of people
What
that
would
I wish I can do that, but if I recall back all those memories, it's like none of them that I actually succeed in having a conversation or a question like this with them.
Wow. Yeah. What would the world be like if we could have those conversations? Yeah.
Yeah. So
My kids are
what if?
actually
Yeah.
oh,
So,
go ahead.
what I want to say is, what if people don't take no like so personally? So if you say no to someone, what if the other person shouldn't take it? They don't have to take it so personally. Like, oh yeah, you reject me, so there must be a problem here.
Yeah.
It would be more like, oh yeah, so since you cannot help me with this, all right, so who else can help me? They just keep exploring other possibilities.
Oh, I love that invitation. So is that what it's like for you when you hear no?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, of
Cool.
course, I'm not always like this, but I'm more and more being needless. I first heard this word needless, like I don't know, maybe 5, 6 years ago, and it was like oh, this is such a good concept. So so I started to ask for that, and then so now I think my life is quite I quite function from needlessness. Like I don't really depend on people for something, and I would say this is me being kind to me.
Wow. Say more. Say more.
Yeah. So if you how let me see, how can I explain this? If you are not kind to yourself, okay, if you are kind to yourself, you always choose something greater for you. Okay, and needlessness is a form of greatness, and it's a form of power and potency. Okay, so actually a lot of people that they talk about all the problems that they have, and when I look at them, so for example, someone would come to me and say, hey, I have a money problem, and then I look at it like, okay, do you really have a money problem, or do you have a self-kindness issue, and the lack of money is just your best way of torturing yourself? I mean, if you're kind to yourself, why would you create a financial stress for yourself? So this is how I look at things in a very strange angle.
Yeah, but it's brilliant. It's so brilliant. So people could really start to look at these places where they have some sort of issue, money, relationship, body, whatever it is, and they could actually start to ask questions about, is this a way to not be the kindness to themselves?
And if I
Right?
would be kind to myself, what would I choose here?
Yeah.
But I think this could be my fantasy. Most people would argue with me like, no, you don't understand my pain and my trauma and drama. I really have this problem, that problem. In this case,
Yeah.
all I can say is, all right, you are right.
You're right.
We are not God. We cannot change the whole world. We can change other people.
Mm, yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Can we talk a moment about because I'm really curious about what your awareness is on this. So you work with bodies. You do what all do you do with when you work with
I
bodies?
work I work with bodies, and I work with those beings without bodies.
Yeah, those ones too.
Yeah, both. So that's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
basically everything.
yeah. But there's been something in my world recently about like kindness with bodies and kindness when kindness to our own bodies, like real kindness, and also with other bodies. So I know, like for example, I rarely go for like a massage because I don't. There's not a lot of kind people. Like I don't want someone touching my body that's not willing to be kind with it. You know,
Yeah,
and
totally.
like yeah, and so in our conversation, I was taught, and it just popped with me. Like my body was saying, like Ryan, get with him. I was like, whoa, what is this? And this energy of the kindness that you are with bodies. Would you say so for you? What is that like for you to have a sense of kindness with a body that you're working on?
So when I work on the body, it's not about like what I need to do, like the right technique or the right pressure that I put my hands on the body. So I'm like constantly checking, like, okay, how is this body feeling right now? Okay, is this what this body needs, this body desires? So so um, but huh, so I have a lot of awareness of what the other body is feeling, sometimes even more than that person himself or herself. You know, some people they have
Yeah.
some body issues, they have some body pain that they are so used to it, or maybe they cut off the awareness about their bodies, or they are so disconnected with their body, for the lack of word, I would put it this way. So they don't even know what's going on with their body. And for people that have this ability to talk to body, like the body whisperers, we hear them so loudly. And then sometimes it's just not a fun experience. I remember there was once I have a friend, and this person, I have no idea what she experienced before, maybe some abuse or whatever. So she has some body issue, and she also has, I would say, bad connection with her body. When she was with me, I could hear her body was screaming loudly, like "help!" And all I could do was replying energetically, like, "I'm sorry, I cannot help you because this whoever owned this body is too stupid to receive help from me." But in my heart, I was like, I really wish I could help. I really wish this person could receive more, or receive attention from me or something.
Yeah. Wow.
So, what would it take for people to be willing to receive kindness?
Yeah. Well, and how much just being like the people that are willing to be the kindness in the world, are we inviting that change?
And I
Yeah.
think people need to start to recognize that kindness is not strange, it's not weird, it's not a weakness.
Yeah. It's not a
No, you need
weakness. Can you?
if you can you imagine this? So if you fight everyone, everything, if you always show that you have so much anger, you push people to do things, then people look at you like, wow, you are so powerful. But if you are always kind, being allowance, honoring another person, people look at you like, okay, you don't have any power. So unfortunately, we live on a planet insanity where most people function from that.
Yeah, and how much of it is actually the opposite?
Yeah.
Like, how much power is in kindness?
And I did have a friend that say exactly that to me. Like, I don't want to be kind because everyone look at me like I'm the weakest one. And then when my friend said that to me, I was like, wow, I don't know what happened to you and how did you got that point of view, but that's really insane. But of course, I didn't say it out loud. Out of kindness, I didn't say it out loud.
Oh, wow. I'm just realizing. Oh, go ahead. Go.
So maybe if one thing that people can take away is don't tell other people what they cannot hear. So before you want to say something, it's not about what do I want to say, it's about what can they hear. So in my mind, I would always ask, okay, can I tell this to this person? If I get a no, zip it. And this is something that I need to practice a lot more.
Me too, probably. Yeah. Yeah, and then there are the times when it's like, I would say that no time, like that time where the kindest thing is to, even if they don't want to receive your no, like even if like to also be able to say the things that you need to say to be kind to you.
Oh, and I also noticed that if you have no point of view about saying no, it will not trigger the other person as much. But if you have a point of view like, oh my God, I'm going to hurt this person is going to be so upset, it happened a lot more.
That, yep. Yeah, because you're like waiting for them to fight you. You're like, no.
Yeah. So you tell them and then you're like, okay, I'm ready to fight. Come on.
Yeah. Okay, I think I had one more question I really want to ask. Oh, okay. So we're looking at this totally different way of kindness, and and we started this conversation about really acknowledging kindness, like acknowledging kindness when other people are actually really being kind, even if it doesn't like look like kindness, but also acknowledging our own kindness. So what do you have any inspiration or something to invite people to start to really acknowledge the kindness that they are, even if it doesn't look like this reality's kindness?
Acknowledge. I can't think of anything right now. It could be because of it's my 6:30 a.m. right now.
It's yeah. We're gonna end this soon to be kind to you so you can go to bed. Well,
I have no answer for. I cannot think of anything about this right now. Well, do you have something that you can put here?
Well, I wonder. Actually, I wonder if people start to really ask, like, get clear for themselves, what is kindness to them? Like, what does it mean to them? What is it like? How does it, you know, I'm going to use feel, but like sense, like what is it like to receive real true kindness? And for some people, they've never experienced actual true kindness from another person. So you could ask in different ways, like kindness from the earth that just wants to take care of you all the time, and or from an animal that just, you know, cuddles up to you and just has no judgment of you, and to start to really get clear for them what kindness is. Because then I think it's easier to acknowledge and recognize it in others and in yourself if you're clear on what it means rather than what this reality has told us kindness is, which is a little bit bizarre.
So I think what people can do is look at those people that you consider kind and look at those people that inspire you. So they're not just kind, but kind and inspire you. So it's in this case, it's something that you may not have any words to explain why you feel that inspiration or feel inspired by the person, but you just feel like, oh. So one thing that I learned in Access is that if you could perceive that or you feel that in another person, it's because you actually have that in you as well. So if you are inspired by someone else's kindness, and then now maybe you can ask yourself, okay, so how can I be this to this world?
Oh, that's so beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you too.
Ryan, can people if they wanted to choose do you do online sessions? If they want to choose online classes, can they choose stuff like that with you?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Yeah, cool. So if you guys are watching this and you're inspired and you would like more Ryan in your life, there's links in the description. So just follow that trail and contact him. Yeah. Thank you so much for this conversation. It's been really beautiful.
Thank you, Cassy. I'm so glad that you asked me to. You know, when you first asked me to come to this show, I was like, okay, what is this about? you actually asked me what do I want to what's I think you asked something like what's fun for me to talk about. But for me, it's more like, okay, what do you see in me that makes you want to invite me here? You know, and then this is how we got to this topic.
Yeah. And now I'm like, I'm already popping on.
So what's in you, Cassy? If you what's already in you so that you send that in me, and then we have this conversation.
I'm gonna receive that. Thank you. We have some comments. People are saying thank you for this conversation.
Oh, thank you for watching.
Yeah. Shall we end this with our game?
Okay. So what's the game?
Okay. So I need to get my notes and I'm gonna send this to you. So
where are you going to send it?
I'll send it in WhatsApp. Does that work?
Okay. Okay.
The thread that we have on. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So those of you that follow The Greatest Show, you know that we like to end the show with a game. And today we are going to play silent charades. So here's how the game works. We're each going to take turns silently acting out a person, a place, an action, or object where the other person guesses. There'll be a 2-minute timer, and we can go as many for each 2-minute round. Like if we guess, we can keep going to the next one if we want. Because you're the guest, you get to pick. Do you want me to act it out first, or do you want to act it out first?
You act first.
Okay. So you got to guess, and I have to be quiet. Oh my God! I think I'm.
So you
I have my own list.
Oh,
no,
you have your. Okay.
All right.
Oh no. Okay.
I think my list's harder than yours. What was I thinking? Okay. Are you guys ready? We're gonna do this. We got our 2-minute timer here. Okay. And I'll shut up now.
Acknowledging.
You're so good.
Really?
Yes. I was trying to send it to your head. Okay, all right, next one.
Okay, second
next
one. Okay. Come again. Gifting.
Yes! This is awesome. I feel like you're a pro. Okay.
No, I just don't want to say the wrong thing. I have so many crazy answers in my mind. Treat yourself kindly. Self-touching. Moving your body. Facelift. What?
You're so close. I know you can do it.
Now I'm scratching my head.
Okay, our timer just went. Body love.
Okay.
You were so close. I was like, should I do a heart?
Maybe that would help.
But you know what? I'm really proud of you because just so you guys know, this is the first time Ryan's ever played charades, and you rocked at it. I'm impressed. Okay, you ready? You ready to act it out?
Okay.
Okay.
But you know the answer because you gave me the list.
I've forgotten them.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
Okay.
So you start the timer?
Right, ready? Okay, yeah.
Oh
no, I don't.
Oh, you're like.
Oh, dancing.
Yes, that's quite easy.
The singing helped. The singing helped.
It's
because you're a ballerina. Now I get it.
Okay, so.
Okay, next. Hugging.
Okay, that's easy.
Hugging. I did remember that one.
Okay, this next one. So what's
No, you can't see anything. You can't see. Don't help me. Just do it again.
I'm doing it. I'm not smiling for no reason. I'm doing it. Or I'm a bad actor.
No.
Okay.
Oh no, I got it. I think I got it. Joy.
Yes.
I got you, Joy.
Okay. So,
That's good. That's good.
okay. Next one.
Yelling? No.
Oh.
Do it again. No.
Well, maybe I didn't do it correctly. Like.
The timer went, but speaking out loud. Speaking? Yes! Yeah, I did have an advantage. Yeah, we did it. That was awesome.
We did it.
We did it. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Cassy.
That was ridiculous and so much fun, and I adore you. And we'll see you guys next time on The Greatest Show. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone.